Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my friends. This is Gina G coming to you live, and it's Thursday. So today, I thought I would just kind of come on and do uh, a little catch up and a little gardening. So, guys, I've been like a little MIA lately, right? So I just wanted to do a little catch up, and then I'm also trying to put some new flowers out in my garden. So I thought I would do that with you. But yeah, so here I am. I haven't been on in a little while. I was doing a fabulous and fun challenge, and so that took some of my time away. And it's called Lita. I love to do Lita. I have many friends on there, and we just have a good time sharing our lives and different things like that. And learning more about doing the online. So it's a fun thing to do, and it comes around every April. And so yeah, it's like every day in April. So you can repeat the courses. It's a lot of fun. So anywho, so yeah, I was doing that, and then also I ended up getting a little sick. I mean, I'm okay and everything like that, but it just took me a minute to kind of reacclimate and everything like that. So now I'm back on my Thursdays doing my lives. So let's see what I got here. Let me see. And so yeah, I'm doing my plantings. I'm doing a little gardening. It's something I love to do. And are you guys happy for spring? Come on now. The weather is awesome. It's beautiful. So I know that if you're like me, you're outside doing something, right? I couldn't wait to put my shorts on today because it's been really nice. Or today has been really nice. The other day is getting to this one has been a little iffy, right? I can't put this stupid glove on. Let's see. Anywho, so I got my gloves, my trusty gloves that I like to use for gardening, and so I'm gonna put these on. Okay, and then let's see. I don't know what kind of succulent or cactuses is. I forgot. I just want to show you guys. Isn't that pretty? I like this kind of like a flower rose-ish kind of thing. So yeah, I wanted to show you that. I'm gonna put one of these in my into my pot, and then I have this little. It says begonia. That's what it says, and I like to go to Home Depot. I like to get my, well, sometimes I go to Lowe's, but I really like to go to Home Depot to get my little plants. But this one says, yeah, begonia, but I don't know. It looks a little different than the begonia that I remember. So, anywho, I'm going to plant this pretty flowers, little white flowers. I love the green petals because they're so like thick and, shiny. They have like a little shine to them, so I like that. Anywho, so let me get this one. This one I already had um, one of these. Again, I don't know the name, but it's like some kind of cactus or something. So, and so I'm gonna show you that. I got me a nice little pot, and I've had this for a little while. Should I put the water in down there? I'm gonna check that in back. It's a little leftover leaf from somewhere. Anywho, and I couldn't find my little trowel, the little thing you dig around with. So it's just gonna be me and my little gloves today. So anywho, yeah, I thought I would do that and kind of catch up with you. So anybody like gardening? Let me know. We can share some gardening tips and stuff. This is the first time I'm doing this online, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Okay. All right. So just hang in there with me. All right. So I'm just watering this and getting it nice and moist and everything. And then I'm gonna dig my little hole in here. dig my little hole. Oh, I don't want my table to get wet, so I put a little plastic on here. But anyway, I hope you guys can see this. It seems a little far away this time. But anywho, I'm starting to get myself wet. Yeah, I didn't plan on that. Anywho, so yeah, so you got to dig around in here, and kind of stir it up a little bit. And then what I do is I also wet up my little. This one they say is begonia, but it's still, I don't know. Maybe it's a different kind. I thought the begonias was, how was it? Yeah, even the leaves don't look the same as what I thought was begonia. But who am I? I don't know. I'm just learning gardening. um, but I thought my aunt had some begonias at her house because she knows how to plant real well. Anywho, because everything she has done, it just grows, grows, grows. So anywho, um, so yeah, I know you're supposed to kind of break it up a little bit. Y'all don't be laughing at me now, cause I told you I'm new at this. So I'm gonna dig a little hole in here, and I wanted it to be kind of side by side, but for some reason, when I first planted this one, I planted it kind of towards the back of the pot. Anywho. So yeah, that's what I'm doing today, and I wanted to share something else with you that in the beginning of the year I talked about this book that I'm reading, or several books actually. So I'm continuing doing that, and one of the books I'm really into right now is called The Bait of Satan. So I'm going to show you how that book looks. Let's see, it's kind of close. Hold on one second. I like this. Let's see. It's okay. It's kind of okay, I think. So, anywho, yeah, so I'm reading that book. It is called The Bait of Satan. I'm going to show you that book again. So, it's this book right here. And yeah, so it's called Bait of Satan. And I really, really like this book. So, let me tell you about it because, a lot of times when, things happen, we say, um, like in Romans 8:28, that, all things work together for the good of them that love God and who are the called according to his purpose, right? And so that's really, I didn't really know exactly what the book was about when I picked it up, but so far in chapters 1 through 4 is talking about that, that all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord and who are called according to his purpose. So it talks about Joseph. And we all know what Joseph went through. If you know the stories, the Bible stories. But his brothers sold him into slavery, and um, once he was in slavery, if that wasn't enough, he ended up going to jail. But it did start off like that for him, right? So he had a dream, and he was telling his brothers, his family, the dream that one day he would be the ruler, and the family would bow down to him. So they didn't like that, right? um, because it seemed like he was a little braggadocious, but it was a promise from God. And so, so you know how that happened. Then he went on he was sold into slavery. He was bought by Potiphar, who was one of the Pharaoh's, I think he was the captain of the guard. So he was, with a pretty wealthy family. And so, okay, look at this so far. What do you think? No, I hope it grows up. I'm hoping this will grow a little taller than that. But anywho, I digress. So yeah, so he went to jail. Um, he went to jail because Potiphar's wife, she wanted the man. He was popping, he was happening. So she wanted him, and he ran away from her. But when he ran, she took his clothes and she said, "Oh, he raped me," and all this stuff. Right? She made up some lies. I don't know if that's ever happened in your life, but people lie on you, honey. Um, and so he ended up going to jail. He, met two guys in jail, and one of them, he interpreted their dreams because he could do that. That was his gift. And um, one of them, he told them, you're going to live. And so when you're going to get out of this jail. But the other one, unfortunately, he said, you're going to die. I think that was the baker. But the other one, he said, you're going to go back and you're going to stand on the king's side. So when you do, or on the Pharaoh's side, when you do, tell them, like, I'm not that guy. I didn't do anything. Help me out. So the guy went back, but he forgot about Joseph. So Joseph was still in jail. Um, and that can be hard, right? So he had this dream, or he had this promise that the Lord gave him, that he was going to, rise up and be, a ruler. And he is in jail. Not only is he in jail, he's still, operating in his gift. And that's one thing I learned too. While you're waiting for God to do what he has promised, we got to operate in our gift. So anyway, that's what Joseph was doing. And I'm sure it wasn't easy, um, because, it's tough when things are, you know, not going well, or, things are happening that, it's not your fault. And it's just, crazy stuff happening. Anywho, so that happened. And then finally, the king had a dream, or the pharaoh had a dream, and the guy remembered. Oh, I know a guy. He's in jail, but he can tell you what your dream means. And so he did that. The guy came and got him, and so he interpreted the dream for Pharaoh, and he told him, hey, it's going to be a famine, or you're going to have 7 good years, and the cows and everything is going to be growing, and whatever, and then you're going to have 7 bad years, and it's going to be a famine. It's going to affect the whole known world at the time. And so it did. That's what happened. Um, but before that happened, the Pharaoh was so happy that he interpreted a dream. So he brought him out, and then he began to be second in charge. He wasn't first because, king was king, Pharaoh was Pharaoh. But, look, I'll take second place, first, something like that, right? So he took his place there. And then, of course, he saved up a lot of food. Famine happened. Um, and lo and behold, here come his brothers who had done him wrong, right? But he saw them, and of course, he tested them out because he just saw them. He was like, oh my gosh, here they come. Just like, you know, just like the Lord said. But he wasn't bitter against them. They had sold him into slavery. Has fulfilled his promise because, here they come. And he had to test them a little bit to see, are they really converted? They're coming. They look, like they're humble. He asked them about his father. They they said, oh yeah, father is good. They didn't know it's Joseph at the time, but father is good. And who else is in your family? Are they okay? And he said, well, they said we had a little brother. So they told him about the little brother, and he was like, wow. So I even have a little brother that I could meet. Anywho, he tested them to see if they were truly changed in heart. And because you got to read the story. I forgot the verses in Genesis, but he, I'll look it up and I'll tell you. I'll put it in the comments. But he tested them. They went home because he said, bring your father and bring everybody so that they can be well. But on their way, he had put some money in their sack, and he told the people to run after him, his guards to run after him. and see if they were going to tell the truth about the money. They were like, we didn't steal anything. We didn't do anything. But sure enough, there was the money because he had somebody put it in their bag. And so they were like, I'm so sorry. I don't know how this happened. We didn't do anything. Please have mercy on us. So he did, and he let them go. And they said, just bring your brother and your fathers back. So he went. So they did, and they went and they came back. They brought the father. And then finally he revealed himself to them when the father was back. He was so happy just to see them. But the moral of the story is that, I'm putting this in here. I hope it stays. That's okay. So the moral of the story is that, they were afraid because they once they knew who he was, they were like, oh my God, we we have sold him into slavery. And so he can get us now, you know, especially after the father died. So he welcomed them. He told them, don't be afraid. It's okay. Don't worry about it. But they were still scared because they're their guilty conscience. And so he said, it's okay. Don't be afraid. I'm not going to do anything. Because when the father died, they really got scared, right? Because they're like, oh, he was nice to us because daddy was here. But I don't know. Daddy ain't here no more. So they thought that he was going to do something and try to get revenge. But Joseph had learned how faithful and how good God was. And he said that, you meant it for evil, um, to sell me into slavery and all of that. But God meant it for good. And so um, he had to go through a lot of things. He went to jail. He was sold into slavery. Um, he was accused and lied on. He, um, you know, he helped some people and nobody was helping him at the time. But you know what? He still had a good spirit about him. Again, as he was going through all these things, he still operated in his gift. And anybody needed their dreams interpreted, he would do it for them. And he kept hope in what the Lord had said to him about what he was going to do, the promise he gave him, and that he was going to come to rulership. So I just wanted to share that I'm really enjoying the book, and that right now, the first 4 chapters, is what this book is about. Um, because it can be tough sometimes when most people, I think, probably everyone in their lives, have experienced a time where um, you may have been betrayed, you may have been hurt by someone or whatever, but you have to, you know forgive, and you have to continue to operate in your gift, because you can get upset about it. You can let all those things, the remembrances of it, play in your mind over and over, but that's not going to help you to get what the Lord wants you to be. He has a future, He has a hope. That's Jeremiah 29:11 for us, but we have to keep our eyes on the prize. We cannot get um, distracted. We can't get discouraged, and we can't just draw in and not give of ourselves to the God of heaven, um, who blesses us, who loves us, who wakes us up every day, and no matter what is going on, even in the midst of everything that's happening, God is still working on our case. He's working to bless us and get us to where He wants us to be. And and again, you know, um, everything that we're going through, all things work together for the good of them that love God and who are the called according to His purpose. And I heard someone else um, say it this way. It's basically the same thing, that um, everything that happens to you happens for you. And so in faith, we have to believe that. And yeah, and go with it. Continue, you guys, to operate in your gift. and know that God is on the throne. Um, he's still in control, and um, he's still blessing you each and every day, no matter what is going on. So we just have to do this. We have to be still and know that I am God. 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 All right. Well, I told my story. I hope you feel like we got to catch up a little bit. If you like my video or my live, you can like and subscribe. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, you can follow me. And so here's my little plants that I did today. And so I'm going to put them in my little garden, and I hope they grow really big. All right? Because these truly are a blessing. Every day I look out and I see the handiwork of the Lord. So I wanted to share with you. And thanks for coming by and catching up and listening to my story. And when these get bigger, I'll come back and I'll show you another picture. See how they've done, okay? All right. Now, don't laugh at me if they die, okay? I'm still a beginning gardener. All right. God bless and have a wonderful Thursday evening. Bye.